How's it going, guys? Today we're going to talk about map preview. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's say you have a map that is completed and is completely ready to go. If I go into RA2 maps custom, I'm just going to save this guy as preview and never forget the dot map, of course. Just going to save it in the custom folder, call it preview, and you see there are a few preview settings here. So let's say you already had a preview on the map, then what you're going to want to do is click use existing preview, but otherwise it's create new preview using minimap. What this means is the resulting image is going to be this minimap here in the bottom left. This minimap is going to be the map preview. Now let's have a look at what that looks like. If I go into CNCnet here and I just really quickly type load map preview, and then I have a look here, just gonna locate it in the standard game mode. I click on this map and I see the map, I see everything here, but the preview doesn't look that pretty, and I'll show you what I mean. If I go into battle, for example, look at these previews. All of these maps, you could see in detail exactly what they look like. But when I go to my map, it just doesn't look as good. So today we're going to learn how to make my preview look better. Alright, so the first step is going to be, because we're going to be generating a few files here, we're going to want to go and save this probably in a separate folder. So I'm just going to do save as again, and I'm going to create a new folder here. I actually have a folder called maps in progress. I'm just going to create a new folder here, call it preview, put it inside, and just save my map. Never forget to add the dot map, of course. Save this, save this. Great. Now let's locate it. So here's my map. If I go to the RA2 folder, there's a tool that comes with CNCnet. It's called map render, right? This is C Westwood RA2, and everybody, wherever your files are, wherever you installed CNCnet, but there is a program called map render, and I'm just going to launch this up here. All right. We're going to talk in detail about the map render, but we're going to do this in several stages of difficulty. First of all, I'm going to show you the simplest and fastest way to produce a decent map preview. All right, so we're just going to go back to our maps in progress, back to preview here. And another thing you're going to want to do is, if this is empty here, the mix files, all right, you're just going to want to go click on browse and just find your RA2 directory. So for me, it's on C Westwood Red Alert 2, just this folder. I know all my game files are in there. I know the mix files are in there. Again, wherever you installed your game, that's the folder you want to navigate to. Click OK. Those are where the mix files are. All right, so the basic settings, basic settings, I'm going to do output as PNG. Again, I'm going to go into detail into everything here later. And in miscellaneous settings, you're just going to want to press replace map preview with thumbnail of the resulting image. All right. And I'm just going to drag my map into the top here and render map real quick. All right. And if I open this image here, first of all, this is a great way to get a bird's eye view of your map and what it looks like. So that's already an advantage. You know, maybe you can't see the entire picture in Final Alert 2. You want to have a look at what it looks like, so you already have that. That is from this setting, the output PNG. Now let's try and copy this map into my custom folder, paste it, replace file in the destination, go back to my client here, and just load the map again. We're just going to search for this guy again. And if I go down here, already the preview looks much, much better than it did beforehand. Now, this is the simplest way. Anybody who doesn't want to get into a more complicated method can just stop here. No need to go any further at all. All right. If you want a more in-depth way of making an even higher quality preview, that's what this tutorial is going to show now. But if this is all you were looking for, perfect. Perfect. All right. So let's go through a few of these settings. Output JPEG. You could choose the JPEG or the PNG format. As you can see, it's .png because that's what the output I did. If I have both of them and I hit render map, you're going to see a JPEG and a PNG are going to pop up here. Right? So whatever format you prefer, you could choose the quality. Right? Compression level and quality are the same. This is going to determine the size of the image. Right? JPEG is lower at the moment. It's 11 megabyte, and the PNG is 47 megabyte. All right. Output a thumbnail. Again, it's basically the same thing. No need to touch this at all. Now, the output file, right? These are called preview at the moment, but I could change this. I could choose, you know, automatic map name, or like instead of using the file name, use the map name, or maybe a custom file name. You know, I could name this, you know, Fred, for like your render map, and there we go. Fred pops up. All right, so we got the image there, and engine mode. Usually auto detect is fine as long as you're not using mods. Also, this option can be completely ignored. Now, if we go into miscellaneous settings, right? So if I open one of these previews, you see these red markers here? This shows the player's starting positions. Maybe I like that, maybe I don't. So if I turn this off and I click render map, we're just going to return to use file name. I click render map. These files are going to be replaced now with files without the markers. So no red markers. Another option, right, is, you know, maybe you want markers, but you don't like diamonds. You know, you could choose starred, for example. So again, I'm going to render the map here, and we'll have a look at what it looks like. So preview again, and there, now there's stars at the starting positions of the players. You can also choose the size of this. So, like, you know, I could go size 6, for example, right? Go back, render map. And let's have a look at this. Now it's bigger stars on the map preview. So again, another interesting thing is, you know, you could take the fixing things if you want. Compressed tiles pack. Again, it takes the ISO of the file. Unnecessary. No need to touch this this option. But you could do fixed tiles, fixed overlays. Usually unnecessary. I don't use these settings, and my previews usually look fine. So you'll have a look here. You know, maybe it looks a little bit better. I never noticed a big difference. I never touch these settings. I usually leave these guys off. Next, there's some other nice thing. Ice growth is completely irrelevant in Yuri's Revenge, which is what this tutorial is about. But emphasize resource fields, for example, will put a sort of lighting on the ore, which could be nice. So if I look here, now all the ore has this yellow lighting, and all the gems has this purple lighting around it, which makes the preview sometimes easier to see. Tunnels we haven't dealt with, but if you have a tunnels, this will show the paths of the tunnels. And show preview window, I'm actually not sure what this does. We'll see. Yeah, all right, so it opens up, yeah, that's what I thought it does. It opens up an image viewer for you, so that you can have a look at this image if you want. All right, so I'll tell you what settings I use, and you could decide, obviously, whatever you want. All right, so, you know, show preview window I usually don't do, obviously. I don't need to view it. Emphasize resource fields is pretty nice. Place markers is nice, not for the preview. I usually leave this off when I want the actual image for the map. And I usually don't use this because we're talking now about the high quality preview, right? So let's just get rid of all this junk that is accumulated here in my map folder. Let's go back to the basic. All I'm going to do is output a PNG here and nothing else, right? So if I click render, all I'm going to have here is an image right over here. That's it. Now what I'm going to do with this image is I'm going to open it. Open with, there we go, open with Adobe Photoshop. Now I'm sure there are other programs you can use for this. I personally use Photoshop. I find it very easy to use and makes life easy. But, you know, any program that can output as a .pcx, and I'll show you what I mean. First thing I'm going to want to do is resize, because this is way too big and the map won't upload and won't load well. Usually, a good rule of thumb is to go between 400 and 800 on the width. This is a big map. I'm going to go 500 on the width, and I'm just going to do OK. So that's much smaller, obviously. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit higher quality. So I just hit Control-Z there, Control-Alt-I again to resize. I'm just going to go for 600 as the map size and fit on screen again. This looks like a decent preview. This is what I would want to see in the client. Now I go to File, Save As, and this part is the important part because what I want to save it is as a .pcx. So any converter you could resize the image wherever you want, but what you need is a .pcx file. All right, now if I go over here, I got my .pcx file. The next thing we're gonna need is Xcc Utilities. Now you could just go to Google and just type Xcc Utilities and download this. If you go to my modding tutorial, there's an in-depth tutorial about how to install this and how it works. But I'm not going to go into that now. If you want to know how to install Xcc Utilities and how to use it, it's pretty straightforward, not complicated. You can go to my modding tutorial. The first video there shows how to do it. So I got Xcc Utilities down here in the bottom. I open it up. This is going to be my input. This is going to be my output. So in my input folder and my output folder. So I just need to find... I know it's in maps in progress, right? 1 second. There we go. Maps in progress. And we called it preview. So I go into preview and then the .pcx, it will appear here. And the output I want in the same folder. So I'm just going to go to C, users, my user, go to Westwood. Sorry, did I go to desktop here? No, it's in C, Westwood, my bad, guys, sorry. RA2, maps in progress. There we go, maps in progress. Navigate to preview, and then I'm just gonna right click on this and copy as map preview. And just like that, in my folder will appear preview.txt. I'm gonna open this up, just hit Control A to select all, Control C to copy. Now, the general rule is you don't want to skip 10,000 lines. If you see you have more than 10,000 lines here, you're going to have issues uploading the map. The map file is going to be too big. So I just copy all of that, go back into my map here. Oh, all right. So right here, from this line here, preview, where it shows preview, I'm going to go down all the way to where these lines end. Now, it's usually not going to be long because it is using the current preview. We did put a bit of a better preview, so it might be a few more lines, but there we go. Finishes right over here. I'm just going to shift click to select all that and hit Control V to paste my map preview in. Hit Control S to save the file. And let's go back. No, I need to first move it to the custom folder. So I grab my map, copy it, go to custom, paste it in, replace the file in the destination. And now when I go back to the client, load in the map again, and I just search for it again. Look at that, a much better preview. And that, guys, is how you get a nice, high quality map preview for your maps. I'll catch you guys next time.